Good morning to everybody. So thank you for Lucidus for hosting this event and giving the opportunity to present to you Lacroix and especially our smart lighting solutions. I think we might be a little bit new. My name is Frankie de Meester and I'm responsible for North Europe, which is including the Baltic area. So Lacroix City is in fact part from a bigger organization called Lacroix Group. It's mostly a family business still, based in France. Headquarters are in Nantes. And in fact, our revenues last year were over 700 million euros, and we are over 5,000 people. It's called Group because it's composed, in fact, no, wrong button, sorry. Okay, yeah. So it's composed of 3 companies. The biggest one is Lacroix Electronics, which is about €500 million business, and they are building electrical components, printed circuit boards, but our Zagas, our Nemas, are built by our sister company, let's say. Then we have a smaller company specialized in smart water and energy. So this is everything to do with drinking water distribution. And then I'm working for, and my colleague who is also over here, we are working for Lacroix City, the third part. So we are the second largest organization, and we are everything to do with equipment and solutions for smart mobility, as well in streets as in roads. And there we have several divisions again. So we have smart lighting, what we will present today. We also have road safety, where we have our own technology for connected and autonomous mobility. So V2X, oops, not good. And then we have, of course, also a division specialized in ITS, traffic management, bringing traffic light controllers, but also variable message signs. We will focus today on Lacroix City. And in fact, we are all developing solutions and products around smart cities, smart roads. You see a variety here on lighting, on passenger information for trams, for trains, on pedestrian crossings, traffic lights, all type of solutions. So if you have a smart city discussion, contact Lucidus, and we will try to help you and see what solutions we have already available. We are also developing our own platform, which will, on the first place, allow us to use multiple solutions to cooperate. For example, based on the traffic, we can change the lighting. Based on the traffic, we can, for example, for buses or emergency vehicles, influence the traffic lights. But this is not part of the discussion today. And of course, this platform, when you are going to smart cities, they have an open API to connect with the city platform, which is used not only for lighting or traffic lights, but also for other type of solutions in a city. As I said, we have in Lacroix City several divisions. The first one is street lighting. I will come back on the different products we are presenting today. Originally, Mr. Lacroix started the company in 1936 already. He doesn't live anymore, and the Lacroix family is not anymore the owner of the company, and it was just with simple traffic signs. For your information, last week, our president decided that this division is for sale. So it will leave Lacroix City because it doesn't fit anymore into the connected technologies. So that's why I think by next year, we will still be able to sell some of the solutions. We are integrating using some of their solutions, for example, pedestrian crossing signs. But then, of course, what you know on traffic. So there we have, in fact, the signs, variable message signs, passenger information display. We just have been awarded a €5 million project for Poland. So for the national railways, we will, with a new line there, modernizing all the passenger information displays will be delivered by Lacroix. And of course, the second part is everything to do with intelligent traffic lights, where also we have a solution bringing AI. So based on video cameras, we just identify how many cars, how many pedestrians, how many cyclists, if there are elderly people. So, and then we have our connected division built around V2X, the European standard for future autonomous cars, where we can, in fact, already integrate and broadcast data to other users having V2X, or, for example, to have live connecting data from roadworks to, in fact, the signs on the highway. But, okay, today we are talking about lighting. I have been offered the opportunity to have two presentations, one now and then one after the break. So I will start with the principle of junction boxes. I will come back on that. And then after the break, we are really going to our, let's say, smart lighting solutions and smart light management solutions. The first part, Lacroix. Everything is on Lacroix, but we keep using the brands. So Lacroix bought the company Sogexi, which is based nearby Lyon, about, I think, 7 years ago or 8 years ago. And so now, in fact, we are bringing the principle of junction boxes. It will become clear to you. I think some of you are familiar with these images. So this is the way you install luminaires and lighting on the light poles. I call it the spaghetti with meatballs solution. If you open a light pole, you see a lot of cables, and then you see a lot of components. If there is a problem, where is the problem? And of course, all those components are IP20. Unfortunately, you're living in a country where you have very big temperature rises, which gives you a lot of condensation. And of course, condensation brings water inside the light pole. And of course, you have a problem sometimes that you have shortcuts and bang, broken. That's why we developed a long time ago, and it's very strange, but from Denmark to the south of Europe, it's obligatory to use junction boxes. But in all Nordic countries and Baltic countries, junction boxes are not used till yet. So I'm promoting it, and in some cities, for example, city of Reykjavik is completely moving to junction boxes. So what is our philosophy? So it's really, you see, 35 years already, we have it in place, and it's bringing a box which moves from IP20 to IP44, and we have even an IP66 solution. And to put all the electronics and the connections inside the box. That means if you have condensation, there will be water. Water will go down and will escape. If there might be some minor condensation inside, it will not, if you did a proper electronic fitting, it will not in fact cause what you have seen now. Of course, if there is lightning, that means you should have the right protection inside. So we have it in different varieties. You will see different sizes depending on the light pole. Very important. I will come back on that. And in fact, you will see there are some have only 2 zones. Some have. This is the last one, the Europack, which is really now used for. You know, there is a trend to go to smart light poles. Cities wants to add. Where do you find electricity? All over the city on a light pole. So they want to add publicity panels, air quality sensors, temperature sensors, traffic counting systems, cameras. So it's a very good way to do it, but of course it brings the need for some extra protection to put inside the box. And that's why, so we always have the connection part, of course. The power cables are coming in from the bottom. It's connected. It's daisy chained to the next light pole, of course. And then, of course, part of the power is taken to feed, at the end, the luminaire, but also all the other equipment inside, including a lot of control equipment, protection of different type of devices, including luminaires attached to the light pole. So we have built till now, so we build it in very big quantity. In total, we have about 20 million of those boxes already installed in the world. And we have it in 1,700 configurations. So it's we can offer you a standard solution, but if you have used some special component, and in fact, we started to work with Lucidus last year, and we had the first small project, in fact, where we have used 2 boxes, because they had a very special driver to connect to 3 luminaires. So, but the light pole was too small. I will come back on that. So we have put it in 2 boxes connected to each other. The lower box is all the protection, and in a higher box, which is connected, is the special device to control the luminaires. Now, you see, we have it in all types of size, width, depending on what do you want to put in, depending on do you want, of course, automatic surge protectors, do you want manual ones. This also come, of course, with the dimension, and this defines, of course, let's say, the dimension of the box. So we have it, in fact, you see many different types, and it's up to us and to you and to Lucidus to discuss what are your needs. People that are considering it, it's slightly different than what you currently do for the designers, because if you have a light pole, it's useful to think about what do you want inside the protection. Because I often get, for example, I did a project in Finland for a new tramway, but the light poles were so small, we didn't get in the box. So that's why you can specify it should be 10 centimeter, 12 centimeter diameter. So it's important, if you want, to take into account, I will use a smart light pole, what will be the dimension of the light pole? Because based on the equipment, it comes with some type of dimension. So, what is very important, it's 3 different parameters. First of all, it's what is the inner diameter, because the box has to fit in. And of course, what is the door? There is a control window at the bottom of the light pole, 1 or 2 sometimes. Of course, the height and the width, we have to be able to slide it in. So this is an example. You can see them later on, so you can easily open them. And then you can hear, of course, this opens too for the installation, but then there is a control window also inside where you can use it. But so it's very important. Based on the light pole, we will be able to offer you different solutions, but it might offer you limitations to the type of equipment you can bring in. So we have a very nice, in fact, online interactive catalog. So you can go to the internet, you will see all our offerings, and there really you can learn a lot about junction boxes. It's very well specified. So for example, one of the pages you get is, okay, what do we have? Have different products. You will see there is more than just street lighting boxes. Here you see. Next page is, okay, it's difficult to read, but it's mainly the important point. What type of protection would you like to build in inside that box? Is it electrical circuits, personal protection? Is it against lightning? Or is it some special product? So all can be built in, but all, of course, comes with a dimension on depth and width. So this is all specified over here. And then, in fact, for each of our products, there is a very nice, let's say, product sheet where you can see, okay, what are the dimensions I need? What type of cables can I get in? Can I get out? What type of connectors can I use? And also what type of protection can be built in. So if you say I want that, of course, we also have the sheets reversed. If you say I need this type of protection, it will show you, then you can choose out of these boxes. So we not only have for street lighting products, but also we have this type of boxes are used, as I said, Denmark and to the south of Europe, or used also for all type of traffic installations, being traffic lights, being tramways, so where we then have, of course, different, because then you need a lot of connectors. Sometimes it's 32 cables you have for a big junction. So this is on the traffic side. And then, of course, we also have some other products, which already is being installed in Latvia. So this is our USB socket. So that means you can install that to the light pole in the city center. And if somebody next to a bench, if somebody wants to charge his smartphone and the city allows it, you can plug it in, and so you can take the power. So this is one of the third-party services that we are offering. We have offered technology in which we can enable and disable it, and we can even measure the power that is used by the luminaire and would be used by this. Because for a streetlight manager, typically he is responsible in his budget for the streetlights, but he is not very keen to add all these third parties because they consume electricity and he gets the bill. So if I would put the current trend is now electrical bike charging, to add it to a light pole, but this is, of course, consuming more. So we have other technologies to really, let's say, relay to cut the power, if you say between this and this time, and also, of course, to say, okay, how much was now consumed by the streetlights and how much was consumed by the third-party solution. And then we have the next component, which is what we call the Festilum. I think some people know it because I had last year a very big order from Estonia, so to sell that. So anybody has an idea, so you have to mount it like that. So this is in fact mounted on site. Okay, I have to screw it up. This is mounted on site the light pole. Anyone an idea what it is used for? And you're very fond of it? Christmas lighting, correct. It's a very nice system to have Christmas lighting. So thousands were sold in Estonia last year. You just mount that. During the year, you put on the cap. And then when Christmas is there, you mount this at the end of the cable from the Christmas lighting. And you have two versions. You have a straight version and you have a 90-degree version. And you just connect it. So during the year, I see sometimes very ugly constructions to attach Christmas lighting, but it's very convenient, and in your areas, it's very popular. So, and I don't know why, but in Estonia, there are thousands of this being sold and installed. And then also we have what is also used in your area a lot is what we call the mini socket. It's a kind of socket that you mount on a light pole again, where it is possible. Let's say that's the old version for the Christmas lights that you just plug in standard Schuko or whatever plug inside. Of course, it's better like this. This is more watertight than in fact the standard product we have with the mini socket. Of course, the mini socket allows to do other things too. If you would like to have a traffic camera, for example, you could connect it for power. I think I went a little bit fast. And not only we have the boxes, we also have, let's say, different type of connectors based on the cables you're using. 10 square millimeters up to 35, also 50 is possible. We have different type of connectors where you see the power cables come in. They are partially daisy changed to the next light pole, and then part of the power is taken. We have developed a technology, but for the electricians, they don't always like it too much, but it's a very secure one that in fact there are solutions where you just clip in, but then you're uncertain about the contact. So you see, we have in fact for the different cables, we have different connections, and then this goes out. So, and again in this catalog you will see, do you use 2 cables, do you use 3 power cables, number one. Number two, is it 15? Is it 16 square millimeters, 25? What is the next? 36, and then you have 50 or 35. So you will see what type of connectors to use, but also what type of boxes you need, depending on those type of connectors. So the goal really of what we offer. Okay, I will continue, sorry. We also have a solution if you would have wall-mounted lighting. So sometimes not all in the city, not all the lights are mounted on a light pole. Sometimes they are mounted on a wall. So we also there have a solution that in fact you have to fix that to the wall. And then again, you put the power cables, you branch it to the luminaire. And we have even a solution in which we have a combined a connector to put standard plugs. We have the AquaPack. So this one is IP66 approved. So that means that it can go up to 1 meter underwater to still have no water entering the box. And we even have it developed. We have a big customer in the UK which is making publicity panels. Sometimes in the city you have these light panels showing publicity. And we have in fact integrated a plastic window you can open. So if there is a surge protector has been activated, you can open it, but still it is IP66. So it maintains IP66. We are, in difference to Relux, we are less, let's say, changing all type of, it's very standard, but we can customize if needed. If there is a big project, we can adjust that. So we developed that for this UK customer, as now it's standard available. We also have, but that's very minor, also some metal boxes, but that's only in very, very small quantities. So the biggest, most of the 20 million are in fact in the blue boxes we have. So here you see, in fact, we really want to first and all facilitate installation, because this is coming completely pre-wired from our factory. So the only thing you have to do is put on the power cables and connect the luminaires or the other type of equipment you like to attach, traffic camera or a traffic counting device or a light panel or a electrical vehicle charging installation. So this is all pre-equipped. So you save a lot of time that you don't have to go on site and do all the wiring. Of course, also it is done on a production line. So this means that in fact we also have our own test benches. So when the box has completely been assembled, it's powered, and then there is a computer program which is checking if, of course, if we put in power, what comes out is what you expect to come out. So, and then of course it's delivered. In the past, for reasonable, and this means up to 1,000, we offered 48 hours delivery. Shipment, let's say, not delivery, because it takes some time to get here into Latvia from France. This is all produced in France, nearby Lyon. Now, of course, the problem is sometimes the electrical components. You know, with the crisis, some of the components, depending on the solution you're selecting, might take some time to get it awarded. So we can put cables via the top or via the bottom to go out. Normally, all the power cables come in from the bottom. That's clear. We can combine it with other equipment. We have our own drivers. So for some installations, the driver can be even with an app programmed. You see that we have this transparent cover. Some are more than the others. We even have a possibility, but people like it, but only few people buy it, to have a full transparent cover. But it's more expensive. And so then people, mainly we have the transparent parts where really you have to work, if there is a problem. But as I said, having it mounted, you will see, I didn't mention it, but on the first image, in every light pole here, also in the Baltic area, you have what they call a DIN rail. And so it's connected to any DIN rail. So that means already your light poles are prepared to use it. If, of course, they have the right dimension and the right opening. And you see also it's a very rapid opening. You just screw it. You can, and then you can start measuring where is the problem. So you see this is the internal fixture. This is the outside for the DIN rail. And then also it is possible to replace components if needed. So it's very flexible. It offers you a lot of possibilities. And so we can, let's say, discuss with you what are the needs. We have already, as you see, we have some samples over here. If you would have a dedicated project in mind, discuss with Lucidus, what do you want? Please verify what are your light poles that you will be using. We could offer you a sample just to see, okay, what is it now and how does it fit? So I think, as I said, it's standard, obligatory from Denmark to the south, but it's something that in the Baltics and the Nordic countries is coming because they see a lot of advantages. There has been a study from Trafikverket in Sweden where they had a recent installation and they had unexpected corrosion on the light poles. Paint was good. It was no problem. But they saw, in fact, that due to this other construction, there was current leakage. So it cost you money. And in fact, they discovered that, in fact, they had electro-corrosion because the current has to go somewhere. And where does it go? To the ground, of course. But then you have electro-corrosion, so it's sparked very slightly, and in fact, the paint was damaged. Of course, here you have a lot more protection to have this water coming in, condensation, and to have current leakage. And this is now, this caught the attention of Trafikverket, so it takes time, of course, to introduce it, but we are very open, okay?
So we have a few questions from
yes,
the audience.
Good.
So first one is, which countries mostly uses in Europe these boxes?
All countries except Baltics and Nordics. Because it's obligatory. There is, in fact, a European directive prescribing you should even use class 2 boxes. Because I think everybody uses it in his house. All these plastic protections. This is class 1 because it's used inside. And there is a European directive specifying class 2. So we are fully compliant with class 2. But okay.
So to have class 2 in the light poles, it should be equipped with this box.
It should be, okay, but for some reason I thought you were a member of the European Union. But okay, don't worry.
Just
also
rumors.
other countries like Denmark, not Denmark, but Sweden and Finland, they escape of making obligatory.
And one more question. What is the failure rate with the junction box compared to the old installation?
Well, with the junction box, in fact, what we have seen is that there are very few failure rates. And the main failure we see if there would be the water rising from the bottom. If you would have a flooding, of course, from the top, it's sealed. So with the current, so the water that will be, the condensation you get from inside the light pole is never the cause. In this case, what you show, the pictures that you use with the connectors and with the protectors, it's spaced by the condensation inside the light pole. So that we completely exclude with IP44. But we have seen some problems when there was a storm and suddenly water came higher. That's also why typically you have the window above a certain. But you will have the same problem if you use your standard connectors and if you have 1 meter water in the streets, clap. It will. Of course, if you foresee that area, you could use the aqua pack. The aqua pack will not be affected. The water will never come in, unless it is 1 meter higher.
If the flooding is not 1 meter,
The
or
flooding
more
is,
than-
well, it's more than 1
Yeah.
meter, because the
Yeah.
aqua pack is about half a meter. Your control window is about half a meter or a little bit higher. In some countries, for ergonomics, for the electricians, they specify a height for the control window. Yeah, they specify a height for the control window, because otherwise, if it is too low, it's difficult to work on.
Okay, but thank you for now for the first part. Now we will have a 10-minute technical break, and we will see you again back in 10 minutes. You can have a small coffee break or something, move your legs, and then we'll meet back and talk more about the lighting management systems. So
Yes.
thank you for now.
Thank you.